Can anyone shoot? You got a shooter?
You can, I know that.
Not anymore.
Yeah, we got guys making shots. We tweaked DJ Newbill's shot in the spring. Looks
How?
terrific. Hand positioning, firing through the ball in his eyes. Just 3 simple things that he focused on. He didn't take a shot outside the paint for 30 straight days, which is very hard for a kid today. And he stayed disciplined, he sacrificed, and he did it. And it's very noticeable. Rotation looks good, arc looks good, follow through looks good. More importantly, shots are falling through. I would say the same thing with Ross Travis. Doing a much better job, balls in front of his head. Looks really good, weights forward. So little things like that. Tim Frazier's shooting at a high clip right now. I think you're going to be really impressed with Allen Roberts. Really can stroke it.
As a 3 shooter is what
Yeah,
I was talking about.
just
So is
flat
he your
out.
3 guy, maybe?
He'll be, play 2 or 3, depending on.
I'm talking about shooting 3-point.
Oh, no question. I mean, he's going to, but he can do more. He can do more. He can put it on the ground. But I would say right now he's probably our best 3-point shooter.
Okay.
Brandon Taylor's right there. Graham Woodward's right there. Graham is shooting at a really high clip. Reminds me a lot of Jordan Hall. Just the way he competes, the way he plays. Maybe more of a point guard. I felt Jordan was more of a 2.
And you talk about Woodward that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got some shooters. We got some skill. Donovan Jack at the 5's drilling 3s. So I know that's going to be a question here today. So let's get it out of the way now. I mean, that's going to be our, it's going to be our positive because he can shoot 3s. He's going to bring big men away from the basket. So that's going to help us.
So what do you do with Newbill? Is he a 3 or a 2 or you don't know
Newbill's
yet?
a 2. He's going to be a scorer.
Okay.
Yeah, we need him to be our leading scorer, if not our second leading scorer. He needs to be right there because Tim wants to pass the ball. Tim's going to get you what he gave you a couple years ago, and you're getting that. And you know what DJ can do. You know what he's capable of. But we need one of those guys really stepping up, and I think DJ can do it.
Hey, Pat, with Tim sitting out the year but on the bench, what did he gain intellectually from seeing a different perspective next to you the entire season?
His IQ is off the charts now. The leadership level that he is showing in the locker room, on the floor, totally understands. By just seeing it, watching it, understanding it, it was kind of one of those, man, I never knew why you got upset. I never knew why, what was going on because I'm in the practice. Now, by sitting out, he sees it. And now by being a leader, I read the article about Peyton Manning today. Tim's doing a lot of those there's a lot of similar traits. He's watching film on his own, but he's also aware of everybody around him now, which is very new for him, which is great because in this generation today, you're really just worried about you. And I'm not blaming anybody. It's nobody's fault. It's the Twitter. It's the, Instagram. It's all that stuff, but it's very self-absorbed. But now I think he has that understanding of, I really need these guys. They're going to help me, and I'm going to be aware of everything that goes on in this program.
What about physically? I mean, you had talked when we last met a month or however long ago it was, that you thought he was close to 100%. Is he where he was when?
First of all, it's a belated happy 50th.
Yeah, thank you.
Belated happy 50th.
I haven't heard enough about that.
We already had that debacle.
I'm sorry I missed the party. I didn't get invited, obviously. I like where he is. I gained great confidence from the foreign trip. He got knocked down. He played against grown men, and he responded really well. And it's not so much the physical aspect. I think it's the mental aspect. And I think he felt like in his mind he was back and he feels good and he's showing it out there. If you're at the open scrimmage last Saturday, he did. He had 21. He did a great job in our statistical categories, and he feels very comfortable out there. He's fearless, and we used Adrian Peterson as a guy to look at as a role model, as a mentor because of what he did when he was injured. And I think Tim adapted to that and accepted that, and this is what you have. I think he's 100%.
So just to follow up, he's tested at the same levels with verticals and everything?
Vertical is actually a half-inch higher. He's 35.5 inches. Usually your vertical is going to go down because of a ruptured Achilles. Not his. He went up. Pretty amazing.
What did you find out about your team over in Europe?
We got great kids. Love to compete. They like each other. I know this sounds funny, but saying that they like each other, genuinely care about each other, and there's love in that locker room, you win some games you're not supposed to win when you have that. If you have cliques or some tension or jealousies, things of that nature, which happens in locker rooms, I don't care how talented you are, that will bring a team down. I don't sense that in our locker room. I think we got a great locker room. Guys really enjoy playing together. So as long as we can keep that locker room close and tight and believing in one another and sticking together, that's what I really learned over there.
What are you going to be able to do with practice now that you wouldn't have been able to do without those extra practices that you got for the European tour?
The detail on the offensive end, we've really stressed and worked on more so than any other year. The last 2 years, it was all about the culture, the environment, the defending, the rebound, the toughness drills. We have that instilled. It's there. Now we got to take the next step in our offense. Our offense was always a little bit behind. It really didn't pick up till January, for my liking anyway. Now it's at a whole nother level. Really passing crisply, really driving space, kicking it out, extra passes, doing the little things to get better shots. Don't get me wrong, you got guys on the floor, Tim and DJ, that can get you a shot at any time, at the end of a clock, whenever they want. But I think our offense has really come along, and it's in a better place than it's ever been in my tenure here.
Is John Johnson going to be good enough that he will be required to jump right in when he's allowed, or is the transition going to be such that it's going to take him?
It's going to take him some time because game speed's different than practice. Yeah. But he had 16 on Saturday, shot the ball extremely well, filled our statistical categories, and really great to see because he's been laboring with that foot injury since the summer, and it gets sore on him, so we have to sit him out some practices. But that's if you recall Vinnie Johnson, or is it Vinnie Johnson? Yeah,
the microwave.
Yeah, from the Pistons.
That was me. Yeah.
I think he could be that for us, and he can gain those minutes.
As a shooter?
As a shooter, as a scorer, and as a 22-year-old veteran that's played in the Big East. Yeah, absolutely.
So when's his date?
Mount St. Mary's.
Okay, and he can. So you're expecting him to jump right in right then,
I'm
or
expecting
not?
him to play. Now he's going to go through some growing pains. It's going to take a little while to get adjusted to the speed, and unfortunately for him, I mean, the Big Ten is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to get him in practice, get him on the starting team, the blue team, and get his reps up.
In the non-conference schedule, what area do you want to see improve with your team before you start Big Ten play? What's the number one thing you're looking at, saying we really, before we get to conference play, we need to kind of sharpen this up?
Look, we got to compete every single day and every single game and every night. We just got to continue to we got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. If we can stay healthy, we can do some great things. We got to continue to get better. We got to defend and rebound. I really want us to be in the top half of the Big Ten this year. I don't want us to be in the bottom. I think this new rule change with the hand checking and things like that benefits us. I mean, Tim Frazier should lead the Big Ten in free throws attempted this year. DJ Newbill should be right behind. I think that should help us. But we got to defend. We got to rebound. Everybody's concern this year is rebounding because we don't have that traditional five. That doesn't concern me. Tim Frazier averaged 6 rebounds a game in the Big Ten 2 years ago. DJ Newbill was close to 6 last year. Ross Travis is, the second returning leading rebounder in the Big Ten. So there's 3 guys right off the top of my head, without even naming Brandon Taylor, Donovan Jack, and some of the other guards. I mean, we ask a lot of our guards. But it's definitely to get our defense and our rebounding to a place that we can compete on the road in the Big Ten. That's where you got to get it done. And there's nothing better than winning on the road.
When you rely on your guards to rebound like that, does that affect your transition game?
No, it doesn't, because there's so many attempted threes now that when you would shoot threes, that means long rebounds. So when you're getting long rebounds, that means numbers are in our favor going the other way.
What about interior defense, though? How much of a concern is that, especially when you get to the Big Ten and don't have, as you said, a prototypical 5?
We have to use our intelligence and our quickness to play those 5s. Obviously Mitch McGarry, you got Hammonds, you got some good 5s. But Hammonds would be the only guy that I would say really is posting up like old school, Jabbar, Olajuwon. The other guys are pick and rolls. So one of our focuses so far has been really defending wing ball screens, middle ball screens, and doing a great job in those ball screens. And if we can do a good job on those ball screens, that's going to prevent 5 men from from getting easy touches.
I talked to John Adams last night
Yeah.
for quite a while, and he said this rule, it's not a new rule, it's just an interpretation, an emphasis, is going to be mainly on the ball. A lot of it will be on the ball. So what you said about Frazier, what do you see him being able to do that he couldn't do 2 years ago, and what kind of tactics did you see on him, where arm bars and hand checks and that kind of stuff?
Look, I mean, we got some of the best point guard defensively. Aaron Kraft, right? Shannon, those guys on Ohio State, they can't touch him if they follow the rules correctly by
Right.
the time we get to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Non-conference, you know they're going to call it. I mean, what was it? The point of emphasis a year or two ago was keeping the coaches in the box, right? Keeping the benches down. Get those benches down. Like, what do you care about the benches? Just worry about the.
But this is an important
This is
rule.
really important
Yeah.
because everybody wants scoring up.
Yeah.
And fine, you get the block charge. I mean, I've taken some of my charge drills out because it sounds like it's going to be an automatic block.
Yes.
If you read the rules, you look at the video. So, I mean, I think this is Tim Frazier was already very crafty with using his change of speeds, and I think it's only going to help him get to the foul line. Or get us to the 1-and-1 a lot faster.
Describe some of the tactics that he would get as much as any dribble drive type point guard against
When you
him.
say tactics,
Well,
stop.
the hand checkings and,
Well,
and
you
little
can't hand
stuff.
check, but you can't touch him. You can't have two hands on him. When he goes, you better sprint and try to get in front of him. It's going to be very hard to do with his speed.
Right.
Once he goes by you, he's by you. You're not catching back up to him, even when the ball's in his hands, which is pretty amazing.
When did you hear about this? In June when it happened, or later?
Well, Big Ten meetings. I mean, you hear it Final Four, you hear whispers, and,
Yeah.
and you know. To me, now we foul a lot. Let's go to the other side. You know, the last 2 years we fouled a lot. So we're in practices and we're doing this towel defensive slide. So we don't hand check. We're doing towel slides, like old school Hoosier towel slides, just so we get out of the habit of hand check, two hands on.
What's a towel slide? I
You
don't know
put 'em-
that
you've
one.
got the towel right over your neck and you're sliding, just moving your feet. We're doing little things to get our minds trained to stop with the two hands.
You hold the towel
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, whatever we can do to not hand check. You know, we got to get creative. We got to get innovative.
So you've been told this is serious.
Yeah, and we had Big Ten refs for our
Right.
blue-white scrimmage.
Right.
And honestly, it was a big compliment because we fouled a lot the last 2 years. They said, you did the best job of just understanding rules, and you guys did a good job of not hand checking for the most
So
part.
anyway, it sounds like you're not quite buying it, but you have to prepare for it.
I'm
and you
preparing
wanna
for it in
you
the
wanna believe it.
non-conference.
You'll see it when you believe it. You'll
in
believe it when
January.
you see it.
January.
Yeah. Okay.
January.
And
And
it-
what is the team like Louisville and St. John's and teams
And
like
it's-
press nonstop? I mean, we have a three-quarter court press too, but somehow we can't put our. You're automatic. You want to put a right hand, a left hand on somebody.
And the way it was described to me, it's almost going to be like going back to before you were playing at Philly U.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Is that the way
Yeah.
it's described to you?
no question.
So we're talking about going back 30 years.
Well,
maybe.
well, look at the NBA right now. That's the way they want it. And I have very good. My college roommate's an NBA official, Ed Malloy.
So on balance, you're happy about it.
I like it right now for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if I get in the 1-on-1 with 15 minutes to go in the first half, I'm not going to be happy about it.
Against you.
Yeah, against.
You mentioned some of the freshmen and their ability to shoot when you started. How much have they grown since coming to campus, and how much do you expect them to see time throughout their freshman year?
These kids are competing. You know, they came in from day one and started competing at a high level, really pushing these veterans. We've got a great mixture of veterans and youth and transfers. You know, it's a great time for us in practice. But they've come along and they're adapting. I mean, the foreign tour really helped. You get the 8 weeks in the summer, you got the foreign tour. They're well ahead of a lot of colleges out there as far as, you know, knowing our drills, knowing what we expect, understanding what we're trying to accomplish that day in practice. And their competition level, like I said, it's been, I don't have to, look, I still have a voice. I mean, I don't have to yell, I don't have to scream as much. I still do a little bit. But they really compete and get after these guys because they want to earn time. They want to get on the floor. And I would expect to see them. That's how much they've earned the right for me to put them in the game as of today.
Is that going to be tough, though, when you've got Tim and DJ and then Alan and John, all guys
Just
who
get,
play?
you know what? It all works itself out. It could be foul trouble. It could be an illness. It could be something. It always works itself out. But it gives you that much more depth on your bench to say, now I can go to this guy and believe in it and trust in it and not not look down and go, wow, I played 5 guys in the Northwestern game in the second half. I don't have to do that this year.
Would you say you have significant depth, and how comforting is that?
Yeah, it's going to be new for me, and it's great. It's going to be great options to have moving forward, especially as their development continues. They continue to grow as a team and as individuals. But to be able to have some different options and use the bench sometimes as my friend is going to be refreshing.
I understand you can't know what you're going to do in November, but are we looking at Travis and Jack as starters in the front court?
I don't want to pin anybody in today, but yes, as of today, I would say that's the penciled starting 5.
And then what are we doing with the 3 spot? We don't know.
We got Tim, we got DJ, Travis, Taylor, Jack.
Everyone.
That's today.
Yeah.
That's today.
At the 3 spot.
Travis is at the 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's earned the right.
All right.
Came here both summer sessions, worked extremely hard on his handle. Again, we tweaked his jump shot. Looks great. He's feeling very good about himself, and he's a mismatch. He's a mismatch at the 3. You can post him up, and he's a mismatch at the 4 on the perimeter. He can go by guys.
And his shot?
Like I said, we tweaked it. It's in front of him. Weights forward. Looks
Right.
good.
What do you see when you have Julian? How's it going to help him to have Dickerson go against in practice?
Man, it's unbelievable. Julian's athleticism and his speed. I mean, he's right behind the guards when we're running. I mean, he's not that far behind Geno Thorpe and Tim Frazier. Really athletic, jumps out of the building. And the one thing I would say about him, he's very coachable. Lets me get on him, lets me push him, lets me drive him, and then he tries to do it the very next play. He tries to do it the very next practice. Wants to watch film, wants to get better, lives in the gym. I mean, he's a coach's dream right now as far as being a big man and just trying to speed up the process. He's a freshman, but he's trying to do everything he can not to play like a freshman. And that's, again, it's a tribute to him.
Is there any consideration at all to redshirting him?
No.
So-
None whatsoever. He has proven to me that he can battle and he can compete at a high level.
When you have guards like DJ and Tim that are both capable of scoring and distributing the ball, it's easy to get them to coexist within a system, but it's sometimes harder to get them to play together. I mean, how do you get them to be on the same page? There almost seemed like at times a willingness for Tim, when he was healthy, to pass it when he had that shot he might have taken the year before.
Yeah, that's a good question, Ben, and he's still doing that. But what we've done since the foreign tour and those practices, they've been on the team. They've been on the same team since. So I'm always trying to keep them together. They're looking for each other. They want to help each other. They want to get each other better. So I see them looking for each other. I see them making plays for one another. The great thing is there's no tension. There's no ego. They have the same vision. The same common goal is to win and compete and do the best we can with this team this year.
And you had a lot of individual time with Tim when he did play sort of almost like a quarterbacking situation because he was playing the 1. Do you have that same kind of time with DJ now since he did that role last year? I mean, are both of them in those kinds of meetings?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a great deal of time with both of them. We'll talk about being leaders. We'll talk about being players. We'll talk about life. But we definitely have great relationships. They have a great understanding of what I want, great understanding of what practice needs to be and what their leadership has to show on a daily basis. They get that leadership doesn't take a day off. And when you're Tim and DJ and you have the best responsibility and you have the greatest jobs, go out and score, you got the best jobs. But what comes with that is much responsibility. And they understand that. And they're holding themselves accountable every day to bring forth an effort that these kids have never seen. And now everybody else sees that, so they're following right behind.
There's a little bit of a different dynamic here with hockey all of a sudden and all the excitement around that new arena. Wrestling's going great guns. How do you feel about all that? I mean, there's only so much winter sports dollar that people have to spend.
Yeah. I came from Boston University. Okay? I came from a hockey school. So I totally understand and I totally get it. But it's a different fan. It's a different fan. And it gives our students that much more to do instead of going to the den or the G-Man.
You think they don't cross over?
Or going to cafe, whatever, 210, whatever it is.
You
I
think
was only
that-
there once, and it was with Mark.
You think they don't cross over too much? Is that what you mean by
I don't
different
think they
things?
cross over at all. And
Okay.
Guy and I are very supportive of one another. As a matter of fact, I hope in the future we can do some double headers, come to the BJC at noon, go over to hockey at 3, or vice versa, whatever it can be. Because then people who are coming from Philly and Pittsburgh and from 3 or 4 hours away, they make it a weekend. And they don't just make it a one-day trip, road trip. But I think we can help each other. I don't see it as a negative at all. Yes?
Coach, last year you used the clock to kind of keep the scores and the possessions down. Is that going to change this year?
Not at the end. The last 6, 7 games, we started scoring in the 70s. I'd like to see us score in the 70s. I'd like to see us play fast. We're going to play small. We got to get up and down the floor. And again, talking about these new rule changes, that can help us get to the 1-on-1 a lot sooner. So we want to get up and down. And I got to give Tim Frazier some rope and DJ Newbill, that rope to go make plays and make each other better. And we're going to see some ugly shots. Yeah, there's no question. We'll probably see a few turnovers. But you know what? I trust them, and they got to go out and make good decisions.
What impact, if any, is Craig Fitzgerald having on your weight program, your strength program now? Does he have any?
That's an interesting question. Brandon Spada is our new strength coach, and he's doing a phenomenal job. But Fitzy's definitely overseeing him. And what Bill O'Brien and Craig have done for us has allowed us into the football facility. We have a new weight room over here now, which is great. New weights, everything's new. It's a miniature version of what football has. And that doesn't get done without Bill and Fitzy. And, by him being over there, overseeing things, and kind of joining in sometimes when our guys are working out, that just gives us an added little push. And the fact that we're over there on their fields doing different things in Huluba, I think there's, it's nice for a change, but also you see what they're doing and how they're winning and how they're competing and how they're getting prepared on a daily or a weekly basis to compete every Saturday. So I think our guys see that, and I think there's a great appreciation.
There was a big deal made of them, the football team, moving to more Olympic-style lifting, and I'm guessing is that a difference for your guys as well?
No, we did a little bit of it last year.
Yeah.
Brad Pentel did a great job for us, so we did a little bit of it. But I'm glad you asked because I think Fitzy and OB have done a great job for our program.
You said you want to score in the 70s and you want to be up tempo and whatnot. That means depth's going to come into it.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with your depth up until this point?
Yeah, like I said, with the freshmen and the transfers, and with John Johnson starting in December, I mean, we're going to have great depth. So we want to play a lot of guys. We want to give guys opportunity. If they're going to go out and compete every day and earn the right for minutes, then we want to get up and down, and we want to make sure we get those guys minutes.
Coach, we're talking about leadership a little bit ago. Talk about Ross Travis. Seems like he's going to be a bit more of a leader this year. Talk about that transition.
Yeah. We want Ross Travis to step up and lead. He's been here now 2 years, going on 3. He wants to win. He works extremely hard, one of the hardest workers on the team. And he wants to help these young guys and get them there as quickly as they can. And he's been more vocal. He shows a lot in his actions and his effort on a daily basis in the weight room, on the court. He's an ambassador for us now. He's helping out in the community. He'll be up here shortly, which is all very new for him. But he's earned the right to do it. Nobody embodies Penn State basketball like Ross Travis. He's the perfect example.
30 days without a shot, not in the paint for DJ.
30 days.
Whose idea was that? Your idea, his idea?
My idea, yeah.
How did he respond to it? How did you force him?
I think in the beginning, you're like, hey, whatever's going to work. I think DJ, there's a lot of great scorers out there, 6'4", a lot of great 6'4" scorers in college, but he wants to be different. He wants to be not just known as a slasher scorer. He wants to also be known as a guy who can make shots. So I give him a lot of credit to sacrifice and discipline. And I'm sure after the first 5 days, he's probably, those heels were probably getting outside the paint just a little bit. Probably wanted to take some jump shots, but for the most part, he did a really good job.
What about Ross Travis' shot as well? He said he tweaked some things. What did
Yeah.
he do differently? And is it where you want your 3-man shot to be?
Yeah, as of today, he's shooting the ball really well. He made 2 threes on Saturday. He's shooting the ball well from the free throw line. So that's progress, and that's exactly what we need. But again, we call them checkups. Get a checkup. What's a checkup? Checkup is in the paint, 100 to 250 shots. That's it. That's your workout for the day. We just, we want to eyes up, follow through, good hand positioning, good balance, all the little things. Because sometimes we lose our way. And, we watch the NBA. We try to get cool. We throw our hands in our pockets, do this stuff. Get a little kooky. And then we need a checkup. And I think Ross Travis has benefited, from those type of things and really working with our assistants. That's another advantage. We're working with these guys more. So we're developing them more. And Ross is all ears when it comes to trying to get better.
You got asked about interior defense already, but you gave up a lot of threes last year, too, and you attributed a lot of them to blow by.
Down from the first year, however.
Down from the first year?
Down from the first year. Progress.
What's been the emphasis on that, and do you think the perimeter defense will get better just because of the guys you have now?
I think it's an understanding of our rotations, an understanding of what we're doing on defense. I think we'll give up less threes. One of our goals this preseason has been taking away the attempts, not just rushing them, not like we don't want to give up any rhythm jump shots, but like flat out taking away the attempt. We're working on closeouts constantly, and we're working on not over-helping every single day, because human nature, you want to go help. You just want to leave your man and help your teammate out, which is a good thing. 5 years ago, it was great. Now it's not so great because teams are shooting 20, 25, 30 times a game from three. And whoever makes the most threes normally wins the game. So we gotta take away attempts, and we gotta do a better job covering the three.
You always want to be the best you can be by the end of the season. I assume that's still the goal this year.
Always the goal.
But is there a number of wins you have in your head, if you don't want to tell us, or postseason aspirations that you have that have changed? Because the expectations are a little
I
bit
just
high.
don't think it's fair. We have goals. I may have a number in my head, but I don't think it's fair to put these kids through that. Why should I put them through a stressful... They already have enough stress on them. They know what people are saying about them. They know what the preseason publications are picking them. We all know it. We all see it. But you know what? We just put it aside. We stick to what's going on in our locker room, in that practice facility. That's all we're worried about. We're worried about getting better that day, being the best Tim Frazier you can be that day, being the best DJ Newbill you can be that day, doing the mirror test. Did you give it your all today? Little things like that. And if you do that and you hold each other accountable and you hold yourself more importantly accountable, then wins will follow. Wins will follow. I like this team. I feel good about this team. I like the depth on this team. I like the personality of this team. And I really like our leadership. Our Tim, DJ Ross, Alan Wisniewski, those guys, they get it. They get what I'm about. They get what the attitude is all about. And that's 50% of the battle.
You think the first, then, say, 4 games or so will be pretty revealing in that regard?
Man, it's a long season. It's a long season. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to scrimmage again this week. We always learn something new about ourselves. We break down film and just try to continue to get better. But I'm not going to say, first 4 games, we're going to know how good we're going to be. I don't think that's fair. It's a long season. You're going to play 30-plus games. We just got to continue to be the best team we can be by the end of the year. And I think we've done that the last 2 years. Now, looking at a record, you might not believe that, but I felt like you guys could all agree with me. I felt like we finished strong both years and got some wins maybe we weren't supposed to.
All right, thank you. We're going to let the players.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Great to see everybody.
Let's go grab.